Welcome to Burning Bright, a weekly podcast presenting poetry and prose from Passenger. This week, to commemorate the recent change for much of the country from daylight savings time back to standard time, some pieces about time. Steve Matanle wrote a series of short poems while sitting on his porch every night around 3 a.m. Here are two of them. First, number 35. 5 a.m. The world like a table at a seance. The fog silhouettes the trees, halos the sleepwalkers returning from their journeys. And number 39. At 6 a.m. the trees are dissolving in the fog, like musicians falling asleep on a train. Two short poems about time from Steve Matanle, from his book, Night Book. Diana Anhalt lived in Mexico for almost 60 years before returning to the United States in 2010. Here from her book, Because There Is No Return, is her poem, Tiempo. Return me to the boredom of my Mexican childhood, to drizzly afternoons spent staring out a window, marking time, hankering for a parade, a crash, a clamor of sirens, conspiracy of stoplights, impossible snow. Return me to the country that invented the hammock, where tiempo is only a watch brand, a journal, a word in a song, where the mantra's mañana. In such a place, who minds the church bells? They ring at random. Traffic slows to skirt potholes, stray dogs, a charro on horseback. The sidewalk trumpeter plays taps at 1 p.m. Always unhurried, I opened the window to a flurry of bird wing, a canvas of cloudscapes, scent of jacaranda. Today, impatience grabs me by the wrist, propels me out the door. My timepiece ticks louder. Tiempo by Diana Anhalt, from her book, Because There Is No Return. Next, from Passenger Issue 69, Jennifer Bird's poem, Self-Portrait Explaining a Calendar to the Future. She said the poem was inspired by a fascination with devices for measuring and keeping track of time, and how they can be seen as metaphors for our lived lives. You can make a life with this. The blank squares here, those are called days, but they include nights too. You can tell because once a week you can open one of the boxes and find a moon inside. These squares can be written on. You can name them after things you need or want to do, like make doctor appointment or lunch with Bob. Sometimes you'll do those things, and other times you'll look back at them from another square wondering what you were thinking. When the sun comes up again, you move to the next one like a piece in a board game. Now and then, a whole row of blank squares up ahead will make you smile and sigh. They can't be traded or given away. But on a flat, hot summer afternoon, you'll think you've gotten 2 for 1. They aren't real days, I hope you see. They're just patio bricks, with all manner of weeds growing up in between. But they're portable, days that fit neatly in your purse or pocket. You can buy a collection in 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, and perpetual. The light I want to see when I die, row upon row of blank pages laid out side by side. Jennifer Bird's poem, Self-Portrait Explaining a Calendar to the Future. Finally, one more poem about time. Section 2 of Sarah Yerkes' poem, Meditations on Time. Time is amorphous, drifts hither and yon like a contrail in the sky. Or it is stubborn, marching inexorably into the exploded future. Often it's rigid, cannot be bent from one epoch into another. Spirits in this sphere, and those who have left, can't make tears in time's web to reach one another. The morning paper tells me that Einstein was right. Gravity does have waves. Astonishingly, this means that we can just now watch 2 stars colliding 13 million years ago. 5 minutes writing time seems like a day. 5 minutes scrubbing floors can last forever. Nowhere in books of physics have I read that time can be elastic. It can act as holder of a wisp of golden thread, or of a long, uninteresting tract. That was section 2 of the longer poem Meditations on Time by Sarah Yerkes, from her book, Days of Blue and Flame. I heard recently that there's talk of making daylight savings time permanent. Does that mean we'd always be on pretend instead of real time? But what is real time anyway? It's also confusing and arbitrary. To buy Steve Matanle's book, Night Book, Diana Anhalt's book, Because There Is No Return, or Sarah Yerkes' book, Days of Blue and Flame, or to subscribe to or learn more about Passenger and its commitment to writers over 50, go to passagerbooks.com. You can download Burning Bright from Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, and various other podcast apps. For Kendra, Mary, Christine, Roseanne, and the rest of the Passenger staff, I'm John Shore.